Hey guys, get ready with me while I talk about how I've regulated my cycles with PCOS. So I started my period when I was 11. I was in 6th grade. And it's always been irregular. And I know they say when you first start your period, it's normal to not have like a normal cycle, like a 28-day cycle. But when I say irregular, I mean I would go in high school up to like 6 months without a period. So I've always known something was wrong. And with my first 2 kids, we had a hard time getting pregnant. But when we started trying for our 3rd kid, I just didn't want to waste time, and I wanted to figure out what was wrong with me. And so I made an appointment with my OB so that we could figure it out and I could get pregnant with my 3rd child sooner. So her first suspicion was PCOS, but she said I didn't have like the physical traits, which my older sister has PCOS and she does have like physical traits of it, but I did not. So she said she was gonna do blood work to see like my hormone levels and see if it popped up there, and my blood work came back normal. But she didn't give up there. She said she still suspected it, and so she sent me for an ultrasound, and it was the ultrasound that confirmed that I have PCOS. So after being given that diagnosis, I did so much research and learned that a lot of symptoms can be controlled through your diet. And so I started, and we were still trying to get pregnant, and we were with a fertility doctor for like a year, but I started like cutting back on carbs and sugar, and there was not much improvement. So I decided to go very strict on my diet, like get rid of all sugars, including fruit. And then the only carbs I ate came from like nuts and veggies, and I did still eat strawberries and blueberries. Those were the fruits I allowed myself to eat. But I completely cut out carbs, like no sugar drinks, no nothing. And then I got pregnant, and I have been pretty strict about my diet since then. But I was also breastfeeding, so my period was still pretty wonky. And when we started trying for my 4th son, I got pregnant really fast. I got pregnant when my 3rd son was 9 months. So after I had my 4th son, you know, when I was pregnant, I did give myself like more leniency with food. I did add some carbs to my diet. Just I feel like my body really craved them, but I still was very careful. So after I had him, I started to go strict again on, you know, carbs and no sugar. And when he was about like I think a year or like 14 months, because I breastfed him too, my period came back, and it was regular for the first time ever. I got my period, I remember, so he was born in May, June, July. So I guess I got my period when he was 17 months, and in October. And I literally was getting it every month like clockwork. And then we decided to try for our 5th baby. And I got pregnant with him in 1 month. Ever since like changing my diet, my first 3 kids were so hard to get pregnant with. My 3rd son, I was at a fertility clinic for a whole year. But literally changing my diet completely transformed my body. And I know there's going to be people out there who say, oh, I tried it and it didn't work. But honestly, these people, a lot of people, I will say, give it like a month. But you guys, that is not long enough. You need to give it at least 90 days, because that's when like your body produces new blood every 90 days. Change your diet for 90 days and just see the change that your body will have within itself, and just how much better, how much more energy you'll have, and how your periods start to regulate. At one point, I had an OB tell me they could put me on birth control to regulate my periods, but I didn't want to do that because with PCOS, your hormones are already all messed up. And I just felt like being on more hormones wasn't gonna fix it, and birth control is like a band-aid. So I wanted to get to the root of the problem. And so I did that with what I eat. And like my OB said, not having a period, especially for long periods of time, is not good for your body. You get lots of buildup, and she did mention that it does increase your chances for things like cancer. And so, which is also so weird to me, that people will go on to birth controls that literally will get rid of their period, and that's just not healthy. So anyways, now I get a period every single month, and I love getting a period every month. People used to tell me that I was lucky that I didn't get my period every month, and I would tell them, no, that means something's wrong with me. Like, that's not normal. You're supposed to get a period every month. And also, because I didn't get a period every month, my cycles were so like heavy. It was like a crime scene. I would have to wear super tampons with a pad, and like the first day of heavy bleed, I would have to change like every hour, or I would just soak through. And then also I would get horrible like cramping, and it was just awful. But now, I kid you not, my periods are so light. I get 0 PMS symptoms, no cramping. I bleed for literally 1 to 2 days. And I know that sounds short, but it's so nice. I bleed 1 to 2 days. My doctor says it's normal, and it's just, I love it. It's so much better. I'm so happy my body is doing what it's supposed to do now. So if you have PCOS, I highly encourage you guys to change what you're eating. Go low carb. There's so many options now out there. There's carb chopper tortillas. There's lots of sugar-free, low carb desserts. If you're really craving something, you can still eat strawberries and blueberries. And then once your body is regulated, you can put things slowly back into your diet. Just don't overdo it, and don't do it all the time. Every now and then, enjoy a treat, but it's so much better for your overall health anyways to eat like that.